Hello, Virgo. Welcome to Dove and Serpent Tarot. My name is Paul. If Virgo is your sun, moon, or rising sign, this is your tarot card reading. Remember to hit the like button, leave a comment. Consider subscribing to the channel, especially if this reading resonates with you. If there is anything you would like me to pray over, or meditate upon, or send positive energy toward, please let me know. Now, this is a general reading, so try to be open and receptive to whatever may come through during our time together. I am merely the messenger, and I ask you to connect directly with each of these cards and use your own intuition to take you beyond the details that I provide. And remember, Virgo, that the most important part of any tarot reading is you. And look at that, 6 of Cups. This is pleasure. This is love and harmony. This is beauty and bliss. This, to me, is someone who feels as if they are a valuable part of life. You know, this is a card of community. This is a card of family. This is the card of like treating other people like family, feeling like you are part of a family, and that who you are matters, right? What you bring to the table, sure, what you offer the family is important, but to realize that that you're loved and appreciated because of who you are, not because of what you can do, or what you can offer, or what you can make, or what you can produce. Okay? I think right now you're a very, very family-oriented kind of person, whether this is blood family, chosen family, work family, friends. Maybe this is your fur family, right? Your pets, your plants, your people. Yeah. This is a real harmony and a real resonance. And I think that you are, you're focusing more on these kinds of relationships lately. Yeah. You're focusing more on valuing and appreciating and finding people that you can have those deeper connections with beneath the surface, beyond just the superficial transaction, exchange. You put in the work, you get a reward out of it, that kind of thing. This is more just about kind of existing in the company of other people and enjoying the connections. Yeah, let's put this card into a little bit of context. This is a wonderful way to begin a reading. There's a lot of harmony here. And then you have a 3 of Pentacles. And you have a Hierophant. And a Queen of Cups. And a 4 of Pentacles. And a 10 of Pentacles. Wow, look at that. That love, that connection, and this kind of personal valuing, feeling like you are valued for who you are. And then you, of course, appreciating and valuing other people and having that sort of exchange. This is a 3 of Cups plus a 3 of Cups. This is saying that, your abundance is recognizing and appreciating the abundance in other people. And that creates a real connection, a real respect, a real love for other people. And this is the foundation for everything else. We have a lot of earth energy here now. So that really is where everything has to start for you. And that's how you're going to make all of your relationships work. That's how you're going to find security and stability. That's how you're going to build your best life. Okay? So in a very real way, even if this is at work, you're treating your work coworkers, your associates, with a lot of love and respect. And that's going to be the foundation for a successful work life. That's how you're going to make it work, right? Having that kind of resonance with people, or consonance, right? Resonating with somebody. It has empathy, it's compassion, it's respect, it's valuing other people. That's how you're going to get the cooperation that you need to build the life you want, to have the life, to exist in the life that you want to exist within. Okay? Path of the Serpent, we have a 2 of Swords. We have a Fool. We have a 9 of Pentacles. And we have Another Taurus energy, the Prince of Pentacles. This is Taurus, this is Taurus. I'd watch the Taurus reading if I were you. I feel like you're realizing that love and validation for yourself and others, right? And having that kind of connection with people, that really is truly the foundation upon which the good life is built. Let's select the mystery card, bonus card, confirmation card. This is a random card from the Smith-Waite Tarot. This is the factor infinite and unknown. We're going to set it right here with Tiny Bob Ross right on top. We're not going to look at that card until the very end. It will tie everything together. It will give us the confirmation we need at the end of the reading. If at any moment during this message you feel like you might know what that card might be, put your prediction in the comments down below the video. Okay, now, as we look around the room, you got a lot of good cards. First of all, you have two majors, the Hierophant and the Fool. Okay? And the Hierophant, the Fool, especially in these positions, it's so funny because this is the Hierophant down with inside of you, right? And this is the card that's saying you know the right thing, you know the right way to do everything. You have the expertise. Okay? So in a way, it's kind of like you're smarter than everybody, right? But the Fool in the environment, see, the Hierophant's inside of you, but the Fool is in the environment. You know how to like kind of play down your own wisdom a little bit in order to enhance your relationships. It's the energy is so funny to me. I don't know how to explain it in a way that is effective here, because it's kind of like we are. This is how you relate to other people. Playful, not really trying to show off your knowledge, just being open and being humble. Right, but being very, very welcoming, very open, very accepting. Well, inside you kind of like you have a deep wisdom and a deep knowledge and an understanding of the world, and perhaps that's why you're able to kind of be the Fool. And maybe this is one of those situations where sometimes the wise person has to play the Fool, Sometimes we realize that it may not just be a matter of telling other people how to do something or it's kind of like, well, maybe this is parenting, right? Because, the parents, they know what they're trying to teach their kids, and they're trying to explain something or tell them why they should be behaving this way or why you should learn this or learn that. But kids learn through play, through interaction, through novelty. You got to make it fun, make it exciting, make somebody want to be involved. And so to me, this really feels like a wonderful interaction with the world, right? It's very playful, but somehow it's very maybe creative, very artistic, but somehow you're still getting a message across. Yeah. And sometimes this really is kind of saying that there's not a need for you to show off or make a display of like how smart you are, that maybe this is, you don't always need to take the credit. Maybe the Fool can just kind of like, doesn't need it. Can let other people take the credit for things, can kind of make it like more about the team, more about the group, and more about the love, And so this is a really wonderful combination. And we'll talk about it more as the energies develop here. So we have our two majors. We don't have any fire, because you're not about the fire. You're not about that ambition necessarily. You're about the love, the harmony, the beauty. The 6 is a solar energy. All of the 6s of the tarot are about clarity, about really kind of like really understanding the truth here. And I think the recognition that love and connection, compassion, validation, empathy, those are the really supportive energies here. And maybe it's about supporting others in your life as if they were family, and you feeling supported as well. Okay? And this might be about you welcoming life on its own terms with grace, receiving with grace the love that's coming from the world around you. Your pets, your plants, your people, coworkers, family, friends, at work, at home, at school. It doesn't matter, really. This is your default mode, and it's one of love and compassion and connection. And that's why things are going to work so well for you in your life right now. Okay? That's how you are manifesting a lot of your success, a lot of prosperity coming into your life, a lot of wealth, both physically, financially, and, in other ways. So you don't have any fire because I don't think that you are, you're kind of in a wu-wei mode. You're kind of doing by not doing. You're doing by pulling back a little bit, by yielding more, by being more accepting, more tolerant, by going with the flow, by letting things unfold, by supporting and encouraging and complimenting other people. That's how you get your will, right, done. And so it's not a fiery, ambitious type of perspective right now, or a mode of operation. It's a more yielding, a more watery, a more love-based, intuitive, a more flow, right? And so we don't have fire. We do have water, and the water is the foundation for all of it. And of course, we have a little bit of air. Well, we got water back here too. We got a little bit of air. And then we've got earth, 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 earth. Even the Hierophant is earth, right? The Taurus energy. So this really is a way of you building the life you want, getting everything you want in life, but you don't have to force it. You don't have to dominate. You don't have to coerce. It's love, it's flow. It's building community. It's building safety, security, and love. It's feeling like you belong there and everybody there is loved. It's like you're just huddled. You're bringing everybody together in a sacred space and giving everybody a really big hug. You're creating your life with compassion and love. Yeah. And I want to hear your story. Drop it in the comments. Okay. So the Three of Pentacles is the card of work. It's the card of understanding how things work. Understanding the process of creation on the physical plane. And I think that you're realizing that you can catch a lot more, what is the phrase? You can catch a lot more bees with honey than with vinegar, or something like that. I don't know if that doesn't make sense, does it? Anyway, that's the idea, that by being loving and supporting, supportive and compassionate and validating and complimentary, okay, and being, part of the team and making everybody feel loved, and making for us all to feel like we're in it together and having gratitude, that's how you're able to create. That's a much more effective means of getting the cooperation of the people around you. This is the cooperation of the world, just the universe itself, just everything outside of you is going to function better for you when you're approaching it from this Six of Cups perspective. Any of the sixes, really. But I like it from the water perspective rather than the fire. You're not trying to assert yourself and push in and force it and impose your will on the universe. You're loving, you're accepting, flowing like water. And that seems like a much more effective way of getting things to work in your favor right now. Okay. Did you build a tree house when you were a kid? I'm seeing a tree house. I don't know what that is, what the tree house is, yeah. The Three of Pentacles is a card of cooperation. Okay, it's the card of achieving some kind of a goal, achieving recognition for a goal that was like a team, kind of a team effort. But it primarily is the card of understanding how things work, understanding how to make things work, understanding the process of creation on the physical plane. And this is a wonderful way of understanding how do you get things done in life? And what is it? Maybe you catch more flies with honey. Or I don't know, catch more ants with sugar. I don't know what it is. Let me know in the comments what that phrase is supposed to be. So I feel that if this is at work or at home or at school, you really are you're gaining the favor of the people around you. They want to work with you. They can feel, and it's not fake. You can't fake the Six of Cups. People will know. So you're being authentic. You're being genuine. You really do care about people, and they really do care about you. You're making other people feel seen and heard. You feel seen and heard and validated. And this is going to lead to a lot of prosperity, a lot of things. You're motivating let's say you're a business owner and these are your employees. You're understanding how to motivate your employees. Not through, a stern, kind of an iron fist, but through love and compassion and support. And being there and being part of the team and validating and recognizing and appreciating. That's how you get them to work harder, And the Hierophant underneath the surface here, this is your inner wisdom. Because I think that you've been through a life where someone tried to motivate you with fear or with that iron fist, with that fire energy, with that coerciveness and the authority. And you realize that you don't really respond to that kind of authority, So I feel like you have a lot of wisdom in you because of the way that you were treated when you were maybe at a job that you had or just in life, maybe in your family or something like this, right? So it's kind of like you're choosing not to be that way because you've been through it, so Yeah. This is also the card of, to me, this kind of feels like the grand architect. This is the one that's kind of designed the building and knows what the life is. And now it's just a matter of kind of implementing, getting the cooperation of the forces of the universe in order to build the vision that you have of the sacred life that you want, the type of life you want. Really the Ten of Pentacles, but the Ten of Pentacles is not just the material world. It may primarily be there's the building, there's the color, the paint, there's the type of door, and you got the kind of the bay windows or whatever, the type of wallpaper, the furniture, the shag carpet, But it's not even about the structure. It's about what you're building to contain. So it's not about the container. It's about what's inside of it. Okay? Because if you build a temple, but there's no people in there. If you build a temple, but there's no spirit in it, it's just four walls and a roof. You know what I mean? So the pentacles can be empty shells, and you don't want them to be empty shells. You don't want to build up the life that you want and have it be hollow and empty and lacking that love. So it's like the love starts first. The love comes as the foundation. You're building it on a foundation of love. Maybe this is a relationship for you. And maybe it's very important that it starts out the right way. Because what would be the point of wealth if it's empty and doesn't have meaning and doesn't feel like anything, or if it feels wrong even, Type I receive in the comments to claim this message. Okay? You are shining from within. You're radiant right now. Okay? You have that solar love energy. And I think, the bonus reading that we did, that was based on the solar energy too, wasn't it? Yeah. So there's definitely a theme here, definitely a trend. Okay? And you are walking in wisdom. Okay? I really do like this Hierophant because it's kind of like, the life that you're trying to build, and you have honor, and you have respect, and you have dignity, and you're treating other people with that kind of dignity and respect and even admiration. Because you find that you're building something here on sacred ground. Sacred ground. And it's a life that's going to be meaningful. It's a family, it's a relationship, it's a business, it's your education, whatever it is. I kind of feel like there's some kind of an educational component here. Because to me, the Hierophant very often is that teacher that we really, really respect, The teacher that we used to, I have a couple of teachers I remember from elementary school where you really felt like they really cared about you. I had a lot of teachers that you could tell they didn't care about you. In fact, they opposite of care about you. But there were some teachers that really, you could feel it, that they really cared about their students. Yeah. And I like that. I think this is that's kind of what this is here. And so I feel that, whether this is your friends, your family, your students, your coworkers, or your employees, or whatever, your kids maybe, I feel like you have a real concern for them, for their well-being. You want everybody to prosper. And so the Hierophant to me is is that part of you that does deeply care about other people and wants them to be successful too. You're not just using people for what you can gain, but you genuinely care. Genuinely care. Yeah. And so maybe you have a teacher or someone in your life that you felt really cared about you, like a stranger, like a doctor, or, like a lawyer, or just a random stranger, or a teacher, or something like that, that really genuinely cared about your well-being. Not like your family, that like they're supposed to care, but somebody that like it sticks out as a special person for you. Yeah. Sometimes that water energy is about the dissolving of boundaries, that you're letting people be familiar with you. You're letting people get to know you, and you want to get to know them. Okay? And I think it probably comes from our Queen of Cups in the background here. The Queen of Cups is in the past, looking at the past. So to me, it kind of represents distant past. So we might be talking childhood here. And it's a card of endings. It's a card of processing emotions. It's a card of lifting the veil of our feelings and really getting down deep. So in a way, this is kind of the dissolving of boundaries, that you're somebody now who wants to get past the surface level with people. Because maybe when you were a kid, you never felt like anybody cared to get past the surface level with you. Or you never were able to get past the surface level with like your parents or your family. You have a family member, maybe it's mom, that you don't know anything about. She was there with you for like your life, but she was closed. Never really revealed a lot about who she was or where she came from, or just beyond like surface level stuff. It's like you never really knew who she was in a deep way. Yeah, maybe it's dad, maybe this is an older sibling or an auntie or something, but there is someone in your life when you were a kid, and to this day, you feel like they were part of your life, like you knew them, but you were they never revealed anything deeper about themselves. You don't really know who they were. And so, and of course, maybe you have the kind of inside out experience where it feels like nobody really took the time to get to know you and who you were kind of beneath the surface, yeah? So I can see that there's something in your past that's making you really want to do that now. Really wanting to like, to fix that. To not have so much of a veil in front of you, right? And of course, that you got to protect your energy, and I think that the Four of Pentacles is very good for that. You're not letting negative energy in. You're not being so vulnerable that, or so, empathic that you're just absorbing other people's negativity, right? So there's a responsibility here. Yeah. And you're very aware of that, and trying to be as open as possible and still be responsible and still protect yourself. But with the Four of Pentacles up here, especially at the top of the path of the dove, I feel like it really is about the foundations. You're trying to build a life, whether it's primarily at work, at home, at school, doesn't really matter. Again, it doesn't matter what you're doing. What matters is how and why you're doing it. And how you're doing it right now feels freaking good. It feels really, really good. Maybe this is about your relationships with your family, your kids, or your grandkids, okay? Or your siblings, or the people at work, or your classmates, or your students, or whomever, yeah. You're trying to build a sense of community, but like a safe place where people feel there's trust, and there's reliability, and people do what they say they're gonna do, and there's support. The Four of Pentacles is safety, security, stability. And that's what you're trying to create for you and your loved ones, the people around you, your students, your coworkers, whomever. Okay? Subscribe to the channel if you're going to claim this Four of Pentacles. If you want this in your life. Hit the like button and this will manifest for you. This is stability. This is a solid foundation. Okay? It's hard to ignore all the earth energy and not say that this has to be something to do with finances, okay? So it could be that you're really developing not only an emotional safety and security and stability, but there's a financial stability that's being created too. And I think that There's part of you that realizes whatever happens, the universe provides. You know, whatever, it may be just with your coworkers, friends, family, or your relationship with the world at large. Feel like whatever happens, the world will support each other, will help each other. Okay? And I like that. That's a sense of a broader community. Not just your coalition of one, not just your community, like your family and your coworkers and like your couple of friends, but really feeling a sense of community with the whole world. Saying we have a responsibility to help everybody. And if you put in this sort of energy, radiate out that kind of love and support, it feels like you're secure in that love coming back. And your community being there to support you when you need it. Okay? And so this is a beautiful kind of a beautiful temple that you're building. It's a beautiful world. And it's built on a new foundation, a solid foundation. It's built on stability. It's built on trust. It's built on love and compassion. Yeah. And of course, the completed building is your 10 of Pentacles. Now, maybe you should save this reading in case you want to revisit it later and share it with somebody that you think needs to hear it. Okay. This is the sort of finished product. This is wealth. And wealth is not just money, but it's kind of like what that money allows you to do. You can, and maybe the resources, right? You can create time, you can create space. Those are the two things that there seems to be an infinite amount of, right? Space-time is friggin' infinite, but yet it seems so scarce to us as human beings in our lives. Time and space seem like that's the real valuable commodity. So it's weird, right? There's so much of it, yet how come I don't have any? So this is, I think, what you're really trying to do. You're trying to create, trying to give people time and space, creating sacred spaces. Maybe you're building a church. Maybe you're putting together some kind of a community organization or a food bank or like, I don't know, a community center, a library, a rec center. You're just trying to maybe create that feeling of sacred time and space in your personal life with your friends and family. Get out a sheet of paper, get out a pencil, draw a picture of your best life. What would you have there? Your pets, your plants, your people, but what else? What are you all doing? Yeah. And if you're like me, you can't draw, make a list. Write a top 10 list, right? And maybe put that in the comments. You don't have to do all 10, but what are your top 3 ideas for wealth? You know, pets, plants, people, but what are yours? Maybe it's the same. Maybe that's it. You want time and space for your pets, your plants, and your people. So let us know in the comments. Let's all share what that is for us. And for me, mine is to create a home where we have time and space to just be together. Me and my wife and our daughter. To be able to have time and space where we can be together. All in the same room, just existing together, cooking together, reading books together, listening to music, dancing, playing, coloring, painting, drawing. Just to have that ability to do that. To have a life where we can, for a temporary time, not have all the stress of the outside world. Right? To where we can forget about work, we can forget about bills, we can forget about our calendar, our schedule, our errands that we got to run. And we can just exist in our home together, in our sacred space together, even if it's just for an hour, where nothing else matters. Where nothing else matters. Shout out to Metallica. I heard Lars is a fan of the show. Can you believe it? I don't know if that's true. Best drummer, Lars Ulrich. Anyway, so let me know in the comments anyway what your idea of your best life is. And don't say money. Don't say money. Because to me, it feels like money is something that you need in order to help you facilitate your best life. Money is not, I mean, maybe, I shouldn't say that. If that is it for you, then fine, put that in the comments. But to me, it feels like, what would you do with that money? Like, I want to go deeper. Yeah. Let's talk about the path of the serpent and hit that subscribe button. Claim this reading for yourself. Claim it for the people around you. And drop a comment if this resonates. Yeah. Okay. The Two of Swords. You're awakening your intuition. This is the card of decision making. This is the card of your general energy. Okay? So you're sort of, there's not a lot of air energy here in the reading, right? So between this and the Fool card, it seems like you're learning how to not just calculate what you should do, but how does it feel? Because the Two of Swords is not about you've made a decision. It's not about you have a decision you have to make. Okay? That's where people kind of misinterpret the Two of Swords. The Two of Swords is really like how you make decisions in life generally. And as your general energy, I feel like you're learning how to use your intuition to make decisions rather than your calculations. You're trying to connect with people on that soul level, right? So it's not just all about like, how do I effectively express the data? How do I build a chart and get a laser pointer and get up in front of the class and explain everything to everybody? You know, because that's what the Hierophant is saying. Okay, I have something that I want to tell the world, right? But I can't just get up there and read an essay. You know, I can't just make a technical briefing on it. I can't just have a bunch of charts and graphs. I can't just, you know, you ever see one of those chalkboards like behind Albert Einstein or something that's just got math problems and those goofy symbols? I don't know what the heck that stuff says. I don't know. I'm no mathematician, that's for sure. It's just a bunch of goofy graphics, right? And so you're realizing that that's not going to work in life, generally in life. Okay? People don't always respond to me explaining something in a logical way. It's like, well, you should get it, right? I've explained it to you in a logical A plus B, if this, then that. You've made a logical argument. You've written out all the math problems on the chalkboard, and someone is looking at you like, I don't know what you're trying to say to me, you know? So you're bypassing that, or you're doing that for you because you know the information, but then the way you're expressing it to somebody else is a little bit more easygoing, a little bit more spontaneous, communicating in other ways than just the kind of logical, you know, it makes sense when I explain it this way. But that's not really connecting with other people, you know? People can read what you wrote and just think, okay, this is a very formal kind of presentation, but where's the feeling to it? And so because we have that Six of Cups as well, right, that this is about a different way of you interfacing with the world, different way for you to communicate and make decisions. Really, this card is about using the intuition because of that crescent moon at the top of the card. This is saying that the way you make decisions now is that, yeah, you do the math. You think things through. You reason it out. You look at all sides of the coin. You look at every angle. You test it like you're a scientist in a lab. And then you stop doing that. And you see how it feels. So when you're deciding anything in life, I think that you think about it thoroughly in a very responsible way. But then you ask kind of the question, like you use your heart to say, how is this going to make me feel? How's this going to make everybody around me feel? What's going to be the general vibe that's created by this decision? Because something may seem logical on paper, but it's really like, how's it going to taste? You could look at a recipe and think, oh, I like all those ingredients. I like sugar, I like flour, you know. But you got to think when you mix it all together and you actually taste it, how's it going to sit? How's it really going to be experienced by people? Okay, so that shows a little bit more of a heart-centered process for you. And I don't know if it's about anything in particular. I think it's just about how you're trying to live your life. How you're making decisions about what to do in your life, where to go, and how to approach, how to interface with the larger world. considering that heart energy more than just the fire and more than just the logical air energy. And that really is kind of dovetailing perfectly into what we were talking about with the Fool. Because the Hierophant knows the right answer, but the Fool sometimes is going to say, I don't know, what do you think? You know, it's the way you might interface with a kid. Because I know what the math problem says, sometimes. You know, I know what the answer is, but it may be like, I don't know, what do you think it's going to be? You know, and my daughter will ask me questions a lot, right? And I could just give her an answer, yes, no, or blue, or hydrogen, or whatever. But I like it more when I can reflect that back to her and I can see what she thinks, you know. So she might say, like, why is the sky blue? And I can just tell her, I don't even know what the right answer is, hydrogen or something, I don't know. Or I can say, well, that's a good question. What are some, like, what do you think it could be? What do you think might make the sky blue? You know, and she'll come up with something about, you know, there's an ocean up there, or it's a fish bowl, or, you know, it's a flashlight shining through a blanket, or whatever it might be. And I think that is, you know, that is a fun way to engage and start a conversation. And then we can maybe look it up, or we can talk about the elements and what might be going on. But I feel like it's, you know, even though you know what the right answers are, you don't always have to show it off. And I feel like you're shining your light in a very genuine way. Yeah. And so I think you do have an agenda in life. There's something that you're trying to do and trying to build. But the way you're going about it feels like you're not really trying to put yourself front and center. You're very Taoist right now. Very Taoist. Yeah. If you're claiming this, type the Fool in the comments for me, okay? Please. Because I think this is, you know, this is maybe performative foolishness. You know, it's the way that, you know, a good teacher might act kind of goofy and be silly to get the kids' attention so that they can teach them about math or something, right? And I feel like this is really a lightheartedness in the way you interact with the world. I think it's very playful. And I think that it's kind of more important for you right now to build good relationships and to have deep bonding experiences where people trust you and they want to be around you, you know, and you can have good experiences, like almost trust building things, you know, rather than you just being right. So it's not always about the accomplishing the goal or being right about something or even about transmitting the information. It's about the bond that's created. Yeah, it's about the experience itself. And that's what the Fool is all about. Doesn't care about the numbers, doesn't care about the knowledge or the data or the data or how to pronounce data. Cares about the experience. Cares about what's being built through our experiences. Not about who's right or wrong or who gets the credit or even what we accomplish that day. When you're sitting down with your kids and you're just coloring a picture, it doesn't matter that, you know, at the end of the day, you didn't color anything of any you know, artistic value or whatever, you know what I mean? The value is in the process. The value is in that experience and that bonding. Okay? And I'm trying to build a birdhouse with my daughter back in the day. And I remember I was taking it very seriously. I was getting kind of upset because it's like the thing kept collapsing and they couldn't get it glued right. It's like me with those gingerbread houses. I'm terrible at that kind of stuff. I just can't do it. I'm bad at that. I'm bad at math. But you know, at some point, you know, halfway through, I realized it's not about me walking away with a birdhouse. I don't care about the birdhouse. I could go buy a birdhouse if I really needed one. No, this was about having fun and being silly with my daughter and making her laugh and having that bonding experience. It wasn't about the birdhouse. It wasn't about me walking away with something that I built. Okay. So it's sometimes we say we have goals in our life just to justify the doing of something, the experience of it. The summit of the mountain exists just to justify the climb. Yeah. Anyway, that's kind of our Nine of Pentacles as well, because this is a process of journeying on a path. To me, this is a very Taoist card as well. This is the Fool, right? Following their path, following their way. This is someone who is in alignment with the Tao, and is living in harmony with the Tao, and is walking their unique path in life. And it's in the position of the fear, worry, concern, or the anxiety. Yeah, because there is this this need for us in life to produce something. And so I think a lot of us are going through life thinking, I didn't produce anything, I didn't accomplish anything, I didn't walk away with a completed birdhouse, or my birdhouse looks awful. Can't even tell it's a bird. No bird would live in that house. It's not about that, but we all feel pressure to produce something, right? Rather than just having that experience and having that connection, that bonding. We're all under this tremendous pressure to hit the numbers, to meet certain stats, meet our quotas, produce a certain amount in a day, right? Or we're going to get in trouble or fired or something like that. So it's very, very important that we recognize kind of both sides of that, because I do feel there's something financial here going on for you, that you want to obviously have safety and security and stability in your financial life, but it's more important that you feel good about how you're doing that. Yeah. So the Nine of Pentacles is a card of gain. It's a card of progress. It's a card of really things going in the right direction, up and to the right. This is the card of you traveling a successful path. And I think for this path to be successful for you, it has to be one that resonates with your heart. It feels good. It feels right. You're making a lot of connections along the way. You think of the Fool kind of skipping down the road. And it's kind of like, yeah, eventually it's going to get to the destination. But what kind of trip are you having? Are you just mad, frustrated, and angry all day? The destination's going to be the same, but how you get there is what really matters. And I think you want to have a dance party. You want to have all your friends with you. You want to be skipping down the yellow brick road with your friends, right? Rather than angry or frustrated or upset or, discouraged or alone. Yeah. Yeah. Leave a comment for me. Let me know that you're claiming this reading, okay? And really share it with somebody that needs to hear it. Yeah. The Prince of Pentacles at the end. This is the Builder, another Taurus energy. You're getting things accomplished in your life. And you're feeling good about how you're doing that. It feels ethical. It feels right. It feels resonant. It feels joyful. It feels sincere. This is the card that's showing up every day. And I think that you're showing up every day for your people. And you're inspiring your people to show up for you. You're supporting others, and that support helps more than you know. That validation, right? And it inspires people. People want to show up for you. Maybe you're a business owner. And the way you're running your business, people want to come work for you. People are inspired. People will bend over backwards to help you because they love you and they respect you and they appreciate you. Because you sincerely and genuinely love and appreciate and support them. Whether we're talking friends, classmates, students, employees, coworkers, family, it doesn't matter what, okay? Doesn't matter. Put in the comments the phrase, let's build. Okay, do that now. Let's build. I'll wait. Because you're not just building the external kind of life and the structure and the temple or the building, the church, You're building the relationships that are going to give life to that external physical structure. Okay? Anchor this energy with a like anchor this energy with a comment that says, let's build. Yeah. Let's look at the mystery card too. I want this to be the Empress. Not the Emperor, but the Empress. Or I want perhaps some more water energy, maybe a 10 of Cups to go inside the 10 of Pentacles. Yeah. Because this is the container that you're building, okay? So if you have a prediction, put it in the comments. Let's see what we have. Oh, it's a 9 of Pentacles. Look at that. You got your pets, your plants. And the thing is, as we were talking about with this 9 of Pentacles, now you got a double 9 of Pentacles, right? Because what we're talking about here is that pressure to produce, to succeed, to live a successful life, to build what you're building, and to find gain, the pressure for the line to go up and to the right. But when we look at this card, it reminds us that we don't want to be alone. You got your pets and your plants, but where are the people? Right? So this is really, to me, very affirming. That's saying you're trying to live a path and travel a path, build a life, live a life that is both kind of materially successful, but is also deeply connected with nature, deeply connected with other people, and a sense of community. Because otherwise it's going to be empty shells. Otherwise it's going to be a lonely path. And so I think these two cards perfectly illustrate that, especially in the Pamela Coleman Smith version. Because it shows somebody who is like just living a lavish life. You got all your money around you, but there's no people, there's no connection. Okay? There's no connections here. You got your pets, your plants, but it's like you need the people. And so the Fool is trying to travel that road. We know the destination is going to be abundance and success and wealth. But you want all that, the relationship wealth. You want all of that good abundance to be present on this path. And take it, it's like you're building it up so that it can fill this life and this structure. Yeah. Anyway, let's do an extended reading. We're going to do an I Ching hexagram. We're going to do some oracle cards. There's a link in the corner. There's a link in the video description. New readings for Virgo, Mondays and Thursdays. Be sure to watch both readings. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't yet. Leave a comment and let me know where in the world you're watching from. I want you to know that you are the most important part of Dove and Serpent Tarot. I thank you and I love you. And we are all in this together.